Chapter 1: God's Creation. God makes the world. The portrayal of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden functions as an idyllic setting to introduce fundamental concepts of obedience and consequence. The narratives focus on God's commands, specifically the prohibition against eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, underscores the significance of obedience within a relationship with God. The symbolic representation of the tree itself, often interpreted theologically as representing God's authority and the boundaries of human knowledge, is simplified for younger readers, but nonetheless establishes the framework for understanding the consequences of disobedience. The serpent's role as a deceptive figure, tempting Eve and indirectly Adam, subtly introduces the concept of temptation and the power of persuasion, without delving into the complexities of original sin or the nature of evil. The story effectively conveys the immediate consequence of disobedience, expulsion from the garden, illustrating a clear cause and effect relationship between actions and their ramifications. The children's story, therefore, introduces a basic understanding of morality, accountability, and the consequences of choosing to disobey divine authority. The narrative's conclusion, with Adam and Eve's expulsion and the subsequent introduction of clothing and toil, lays the groundwork for understanding humanity's fallen state. This element, though simplified, offers a gentle introduction to the concept of imperfection and human vulnerability. The imposition of labor and the loss of paradise are presented as consequences, not as theological pronouncements on the nature of human suffering or the problem of evil. This carefully chosen simplification avoids overwhelming young readers with weighty philosophical or theological implications. The focus remains on the relationship between God and humanity, with the narrative hinting at the need for reconciliation and restoration. The promise of redemption, though not explicitly detailed, is subtly implied through God's provision of clothing and ongoing care for humanity, preparing young minds for the future understanding of God's grace and mercy. The overall structure avoids detailed descriptions of suffering, instead opting for a presentation suitable for a younger audience that still manages to instill a foundational understanding of human fallibility and the divine response to it. The simplified language and narrative structure employed in God's Word for Kids allow the central themes of creation, obedience, and consequence to be presented in an accessible and engaging manner. The illustrations and story structure likely work in tandem to further simplify complex theological ideas. The avoidance of detailed theological debate and complex philosophical arguments.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?